Perfect, perfect, perfect. Morning, morning. So it was a bit biblical at the weekend, wasn't it, with all of the rain that we had, and it just seemed that whenever I ventured out beyond the front door on Saturday, the heavens opened, and I eventually ventured out to pick some elderberries, carrying a carrier bag and a pair of scissors. And I had my elderberries, and then the heavens opened. So I spent 20 minutes sheltering under a tree, and there was a break in the rain. So I managed to make it to the little theatre, the little plaza theatre we have here in Romsey, with a little roof that juts out over the steps. And so I was sheltering on the steps when the next cloudburst happened. And it's manned by volunteers, and there was an elderly chap there polishing the doorknobs and doing whatever he was doing. And he saw me standing on the steps, and he took pity on me, and he opened the door and he said, come in, come in. So I went in, and not only that, he made me a cup of tea, and we stood inside in the foyer watching the rain. So it's just a reminder that there really are nice people out there, you know, when the world seems very dark and gloomy when we read the newspapers. There really are nice people out there. And anyway, we were standing there watching the rain and the heavens getting darker and darker. And he looked at me and he said, just don't forget, it won't last forever. So I got a cup of tea and some philosophy from this old man. But it was a real kind of reminder that, you know, whatever we're going through, just like that rain cloud and that shower, it won't last forever. It sometimes seems to be an interminable period of time. And I've gone through a bit of it, and I know some of you are going through kind of tough times at the moment, or difficult times of transition and change. And it's that kind of knowing that it won't last forever, that there is kind of light at the end of the tunnel, the clouds will part eventually. So as we come to our practice today, kind of using this time to give yourself a little bit of time, the proverbial break in the clouds from whatever you've got going on. We've all got stuff, big or small. So let's come to a comfortable seated position, and let's see if we can put those things to one side for the next hour. Pop yourself up on a cushion or lean against a wall if that's more comfortable. We'll just place the hands either palms down or palms up. It can be in your lap, somewhere nice and comfortable for your shoulders. And as you begin to relax into your body this morning, maybe you gently tip the head forwards, maybe even closing down the eyes if you're comfortable. And if you're uncomfortable or you simply don't want to close your eyes, just bring your gaze softly to the floor in front of you. It's that message to ourselves, to our nervous systems, that we can just start to block out all of those outward distractions, all of that stuff that we've got going on. And we turn that spotlight a little bit more inward now. So we start to focus on what's going on within us. Noticing first all the physical sensations in the body this morning. You might feel some areas of tightness or tension, and just setting that intention to yourself to be gentle with that part of the body, to work with it rather than force any yoga posture. Beginning to bring your attention to the breath. Every inhale is that opportunity to just lengthen up through the crown of the head, lifting the spine a little taller. And every exhale is an opportunity to let go of that little bit of tension you might be holding somewhere in the body. Shoulders, making sure they feel heavy. Softening the face, just getting rid of any expressions of thought or concentration as you smooth the brow. Feeling the weight nice and balanced between the right side and the left side of your sit bones. Just notice if the weight is balanced between the forwards and the backwards, that you're not leaning the body forwards, rushing towards the future, nor are you leaning back, being pulled back towards events that are long gone. Instead, focusing on finding that nice balance between the left and the right, the forwards and the back, and the up and the down. And that steady, grounded point will just bring the fingertips down to the floor alongside you and gently press them down into the ground so you feel that the spine can gently begin to lengthen up even taller. And as we blink the eyes open and lift the chin, we'll sweep the arms up for as long as we can through the sides of the waist, the palms together. We bring the hands to the heart. And as you interlace your hands, you push your palms down and let those elbows rise up. And now as you round the back like an angry cat, push the palms forwards. Now we can sit towards the back of our sit bones. And reaching up to the sky, again, pressing up through the base of the index finger. And then we'll swim the hands all the way back down, just pushing the palms out to the side. Let's add the breath, inhaling up. And exhaling, hands to heart. Interlace the hands, elbows high, palms pushed down. And breathing out like an angry cat, pulling belly button to spine, reaching up, up, up as you inhale, stretching through the side body. And exhale, pushing the arms down and out. Lovely, let's do that again. Inhale. And breath out. Beautiful, as you inhale, you lift the elbows, try and keep the shoulders soft. And then once more, we'll round the back, getting that stretch between the shoulder blades. Breath in to reach up. And breathing out, coming down. We're going to add on the next time. So breathing in, reaching up. And breathing out, hands to heart. Elbows high as you breathe in. And last time we round the back. We're going to reach up to the sky. This time we'll separate the hands. So as we exhale, we can come into a twist. Left arm in front, right arm behind. And just pause there with the arms stretched out level with the shoulders. Now bring that left hand onto your right knee or thigh, and the other hand comes behind you. And maybe you take your gaze over that back shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in, see if you can find even more length through the spine. And as you breathe out, again, see if you can find a little bit more rotation there. Taking care you're not leaning back into that back hand. Now we're going to keep pressing down with that left hand. As you reach the right arm up, as you come over the top, just try and press that knee away from you so the knee is popping up towards your armpit. Get that lovely side bend. Reaching up through the middle. And bring right hand on top of left hand. So you might, right arm on top of left arm, sorry. So you might bring your hands onto your shoulders. Or you can come into that eagle pose with your elbows and wrists wrapped. Drop the shoulders as you slide the elbows forwards and up. We'll take an inhale. And exhale, we'll drop the elbows as you round the spine. So all of this can be done. Inhale with your hands on your shoulders, getting that long stretch through the belly. And then exhale to round. So listening to your shoulders as you lift the elbows, shoulders stay away from the ears as you find that stretch one more time. And exhale, let's come all the way down. Sweeping the arms up, take a big reach up. And swim the hands behind, and you can lean back into your hands or come up onto your fingertips. And then gently press your chest forwards, maybe take your gaze up towards the ceiling. A little squeeze of the shoulder blades down the back as you breathe in. As you breathe out, release. Bringing the hands in front of you. Maybe just take a little walk of your hips back away from you. So we can start to walk the hands forwards. It might be a little ways away from you. Or you might be able to take the arms a little further as you melt down over the legs. Just release into the spine as you take that lovely forward fold. Not worrying about how far you've come. And then we'll walk the hands back. Have a little look at your legs. And if you've got them crossed, simply bring the other leg in front. Try not to overthink it. That's it, reaching the arms up. Take an inhale. And exhaling, hands to hearts. Elbows high as you interlace the hands. And then round the back. Beautiful. Reaching up to the sky. Separate those hands. Breath in. And breathing out. We'll come over into a nice side bend this time. So reaching the left arm over the top. Yeah, inhale through center. A little tick-tock over to the other side. Trying not to move your sit bones from that lovely grounded position as we do one more each way. So maybe tucking your chin in if that feels good, or keeping the gaze down. One more time. Beautiful, reaching both arms up. Take an inhale. This time as we exhale, left arm crosses over right arm. So again, you can bring your hands onto your shoulders, or you can come into that little eagle. One side might feel easier than the other. So inhale, elbows, not the shoulders lift. And then exhale, we round. It might feel different on this side. Inhale, this is my stiffer side. I can feel this one. Inhale. And exhale. It's funny how we've got those little inconsistencies in the body. Exactly same action, but on the other side feels completely different. One more big reach up and a big stretch down, ready to release those arms as you inhale, reaching up. Swimming the hands behind you so you can take that lovely stretch across your chest, feeding the chest forwards, pressing into your hands, maybe lifting the chin. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, release. Again, I'm going to bring the fingertips in front, just walk my hips back a little bit and take that forward fold. Just gently ease yourself down. And again, with the other leg in front, it might feel completely different. So again, your chest might be a little higher up this time. Lovely. Walking the hands back, bringing those knees in towards the chest, giving them a nice hug as you round your back. And we're going to come into a little zigzag leg. So you're going to bring your right shin in front of you and your left shin behind you. Now, if this is too much for your knees, you can keep both legs stretched out in front of you, no problem at all. So if you've got legs in front of you, you're just going to come into a forward fold over your straight legs. If you're in that zigzag, you're going to turn towards your right knee. Just take a little walk forwards over that right knee, maybe coming up onto your palms, maybe down onto your forearms, maybe even reaching the arms in front of you as you get that long stretch through the body, a little version of a pigeon pose. So probably your left sit bone will have lifted a little bit from the floor there as you reach the arms out nice and long. And we'll walk the hands back. Planting that right hand down just by your hip, we're going to reach that left arm out to the side. And then we'll sweep the left arm in front of the face. And as you do so, try and roll that left hip forward so you've got some space between your bottom and the floor. And then as we inhale, you try and bring your sit bone down as you reach out to the side. And then roll the hip forwards, lift your bottom off the floor. Maybe you want to stay here today, inhale. Or this time as you exhale, press into your right hand and maybe lift your hips up off the floor if that feels good. And then we drop the hips, we reach out, breathing in. And lovely, reaching up, taking that top arm overhead. Let's do one more time. Inhale. And exhale, pushing those hips forwards, reaching the arm over the top. And then we'll come all the way back down, bringing that left foot to the floor in front of you. If you've got both legs straight, you're going to bend both knees so both feet are on the floor. And hold behind that left leg. Just take a little lean back so you can bring your tiptoes to the floor. And maybe you just hold behind the knee and lift up nice and tall, knee coming to chest. You might be able to bring your hands down towards your foot, your shin. Some of you might be able to hold around your foot, lift your chest. And some of you might be able to straighten that left leg. But try and bring the weight forwards, and we're not rounding the back. Better to be here with a nice bent leg and a long back in a sort of funny shape like that. So it'll all depend on how our hamstrings feel. Lifting up nice and tall. Oh, that's a stretch for the hamstrings, isn't it? And then slowly, place that left foot down straight in front of you and bring that right heel in towards your groin. Bringing the fingertips down on either side of that left leg, take an inhale, and then walking forwards over the leg, bowing down. You're going to lift up halfway as you breathe in. And breathing out, see if you can find a little bit more depth. Lovely, let's do that one more time. So we lift the chest. And then this time, see if you can pause and hold in that stretch. Again, not worrying how low you come. Nice grounding flow for us today. Lovely, coming back up through the middle. Again, planting that right hand down, sweeping the left arm in front of the face, option to stay there. Or again, we can lift the hips up, this time with a straight leg, arcing that top arm back. Coming all the way back down, bending that right knee up towards the sky. Holding on with your right hand or elbow, take an open twist to the left today. A bit rebellious, hey, normally we turn towards the knee. But this way we've got all of that wonderful space that we can turn the body into as you twist the body round to the left. Lovely, back up through the center, sliding that left foot in. We'll bring the soles of the feet together. Then those knees drop out to the side. You can bring the heels in or slide them away from you. As you pull up with your arms, lifting the chest, maybe you can take a little hinge forwards from the hips. Maybe the elbows might reach the knees. Some of you might be able to bow down a little further, leading with your chest and your chin rather again than rounding your back. Think about keeping the spine nice and long as you gently open up into the hips. Beautiful. Bringing those hands to the outside of the knees so you can bring those knees together, sliding both legs out in front of you, reaching the arms up, breath in, and coming down into your forward fold. So some of us might prefer a bent knee and the arms wrapping underneath the thighs, or you can keep the legs straight and melt yourself down. Really listen to what's going on in your body today. Letting the yoga meet your body where it is rather than forcing your body into a pose that feels uncomfortable this morning. And then we'll come all the way up. I'm going to try that on the other side. So left shin in front, right shin tucked behind you into that little zigzag. Or legs straight out in front of you. So legs straight, you're taking that forward fold. Bent knee, you're turning towards that left knee. And we take that little forward fold. So my right sits bones is lifted as I come on down, maybe onto my palms, your forearms, or like me, you might be able to stretch your arms out in front of you. Coming into that little modified pigeon, we're getting a stretch through the body, a little opening into the hip there. Walking the hands back. And this time left hand by left hip, and try and sit into that right sit bone as you reach out to the side. And as you sweep the arm in front of the chest, you're going to try and lift that right sit bone off the floor and reach the arm in front. So you're rolling the hip. Inhale, we sit down into that sit bone. And then exhale, you lift the bottom and roll that hip forwards. Lovely. One more like that. So knowing you can stay here. This side might feel very different to the other. Or ready for that little lift if you wish. So as you exhale, you can push the hips forwards and take the top arm back. And then we sit all the way back down. And then exhale, we can sweep up. Oh, that feels good this morning. Getting a nice stretch through the side body. Lovely. Let's do one more time. So that feels so nice. Up we come. And then coming all the way back down. Stepping right foot in front. And holding on around the back of the knee there. We take that little lean back. We lift the toes. Point the toes to the floor. Maybe we can lift the shin. Maybe we hold towards the ankle, but keeping the spine nice and upright, deciding whether you want to keep your knee bent or straightening that leg out in front of you. And again, we're rather than leaning back, we're rocking the weight forwards onto the front of your sit bones. So a nice long spine. And some of this is dependent on how long your legs and your arms are. So don't get too disheartened if that's a tricky pose. And then slowly we'll bring that leg down in front of you, bringing the heel in towards your groin. Fingertips on either side of that right leg as you inhale. And then take that little fold down as you exhale. We'll lift up halfway, so you just peek beyond your toes as you breathe in. And then let yourself sink down over that leg. Lovely, one more time. Just pause and hold there again, not worrying how far down you've come over the leg. Feeling that nice stretch in the back of the leg into the hamstring, the low back. As you come all the way back up slowly, left hand down by the hip one more time, right arm sweeps across, and again we can take that little pressing of the hips forward, sweeping that top arm back. And then we come all the way back down, planting the left foot on the floor, using left hand or elbow to bring the knee into the chest. We take that lovely open twist to the right, so lots of space that we can turn the body into. Feels much more comfortable maybe than turning towards the knee. And then as you slide the right foot in, last time to bring the soles of the feet together and pressing again against your elbows, against your knees. You can just take that little hinge forward. And if you want a little different variation this time, maybe reach your fingertips to the floor in front of you and allow the back to round. But all the time we're focusing on keeping those knees just dropping out to the side. And sliding the hands back, hands to the outside of the knees. We bring the knees together and extend the legs. Last time to reach up tall. And as you take that forward fold again, that might be an option for you today to support any issues in a low back, as opposed to straightening your legs. Itchy nose this morning. Milu's been on my mat. Shedding his cat hair everywhere. Lovely. Let's roll ourselves back up. Bend those knees so you can sweep the feet around to one side, and we'll find our way round onto all fours. So as you find that nice tabletop position with your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips, just take care you've not dropped your gaze back towards your belly button. We've got that lovely long neck looking towards the top of the mat. And from there, we'll come into our cat-cow. So as you inhale, the chin gently pulls forwards, our tailbone lifts up. And then exhale like an angry cat, rounding the back. Milu was a very angry cat last night. He had to go to the vets for his health check. Inhale. To have that horrible flea powder put on him. He hates it. Exhale to round. He was a very angry cat. So channel your inner Milu. Inhale. We stretch the belly. And then exhale, we stretch the back body. Let's do one more like that. Inhale. And the next time you've made your best angry cat shape with your spine, pulling your belly button up towards your back body, gently start to move your hips from side to side and maybe even bring your ear towards your shoulders. You're making a little C shape through either side of your waist. And then we'll take that little wiggle all the way forwards so we end up back in our tabletop position. From your tabletop, I'm going to slide the right leg back behind you, lifting the leg up so the toes are pointing down towards the floor. Try not to sag in the middle there, so pull the belly button up to the spine as you inhale. And then exhale, knee to chest, nose to knee. We're going to close the distance. And then inhale, we look forwards as we kick back. And then exhale, squeeze in. Option, left arm extends as you take the right leg back. And then you bring your elbow to your knee. That requires a little bit more balance. So as we do that twice more, you can always keep your hand on the floor and just work the leg this morning. You decide. Inhale to stretch. And exhale, closing the distance in the middle. And next, extend arm and leg, or just that leg. So if you can reach in opposite directions, then we'll bring the hand down, touch the toes down behind you, keeping the leg nice and straight. You're going to sweep that right leg out to the side, lining up your big toe with your knee, and walk back and lift on up into gate pose, reaching the arms out. Any discomfort in the knee, you can always bend that knee and point it out to the sides. Lovely. We're going to reach up with the arms, take an inhale. From the beginning, exhaling, hands to heart. Interlace the hands, elbows high, breath in. And breathing out, pushing the palms forwards, take that little rounding of the back. Inhaling up. This time as we exhale, right hand down, left arm over the top as we stretch. Inhale through the middle. And this time as we exhale, just bring the left hand toward the floor as you take that lovely long line through the right side of the body. Lovely. Inhale to center. Over to the right. Lovely. Coming back through the middle. Slightly lift your right hip up as you come over to the left. Some of you might reach the floor, but we're aiming to get that lovely long diagonal stretch. Let's do one more each way. And this time as you come over to the left, maybe you stay there, fingertips reaching toward the floor. Or some of you might bring the hand down and extend that top arm alongside your ear, keeping the hips pressed forwards. And then from there, we'll walk the hands forwards, bringing both hands under the shoulders. You can keep the right leg out to the side or bring the knees underneath you, whatever works for you. Taking that right arm up, we're going to open the chest, breath in. And then breathing out, feed right arm under left arm as we thread the needle. Inhaling up, so bringing the weight forward, your shoulders over your wrist. And then maybe as you feed the arm through, the hips rock back a little bit. Let's do that one more time. Big stretch, big reach through the chest. Seeing if you can reach a little further away from you this time. And then taking the arm up to the sky one last time, maybe looking up towards your fingertips before you bring the hand down. Sweep that right leg all the way back behind you. Maybe you just stay here and roll over your toes, or join me in a downward dog, pushing those hips up and back. Just starting a little bit of movement as you bend one knee and then the other, keeping it nice and loose. Maybe giving those hips a little bit of a shake from side to side. And then we'll rise up onto your tiptoes and keeping those heels lifted, coming back down onto hands and knees. Flattening your toes as you sit back into that child pose, keeping the arms in front of you. And maybe this is where you need to stay. You want to have a little rest today. Or join me back in the angry cat shape as you inhale to all fours. And exhale, coming down onto your tummy, elbows hug in just by the side of the body. Inhaling up. And exhaling bottom to heels. Let's do that twice more, that little floor flow if that works for you. Having that child pose is an option. Or maybe you're just coming up onto all fours and then coming back into a child pose. Whatever works for you this morning. Let's do one more. Whatever feels good. Listening to our bodies. Inhaling up. And we'll all meet in child pose, bottom to heels, arms stretched out in front of you. And from there, start to walk your hands back towards your knees. Lovely. So chest is lifted. And as we inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up to the sky. And exhaling, bringing the hands to the heart. So your knees are about hip width apart. Sweeping the arms up, take an inhale. And this time as you exhale, let's bring the hands around the back of the body, bringing them onto your low back. Now as you press your hips forwards, think about opening up across the chest, a little squeeze of the shoulder blades together, pointing the elbows back behind you. Maybe you start to lift your breastbone. Keep pressing those hips forwards. You keep a little squeeze of your bottom as you lift your chin. And then we'll lower the chin and come all the way back down, sliding the hands forwards and finding your way back onto all fours. And from all fours, we'll try that on the other side. So left leg, we're going to slide back behind you, lifting up. So try not to roll that hip. Keep the hips pointing down as you inhale. Exhale, give that knee a squeeze in towards your chest, round your back. One more like that. So the hands on the floor, feeling nice and stable there. Now you can stay here, or this time right arm extends forwards with your thumb up to the sky. And then you squeeze everything to center. Getting tangled in my spider plant. Inhale and exhale. Lovely. Twice more. Inhale to reach and lengthen. If you feel wibbly wobbly, you can just work the leg this morning. Lovely. The next time we've got the arm and the leg extended, let's pause. See if you can reach a little further in opposite directions. And then hand comes down. Keep the leg straight. We just tap the foot down behind you. Ready to take the left leg out to the left, lining up again, big toe with knee. Walking your hands back towards you and lifting on up into that gate pose. Remember that option of bending the knee, turning the toes out. Lovely. Sweeping the arms up, breath in. Hands to hearts. Lovely. Inhale, elbows high. And exhale, push the palms forwards, a little rounding of the reaching up, breath in. This time let's come over to the left. We come up through the middle, breathing in. Lifting that top hip. Again, we're aiming for the floor with that right hand as you reach the left arm over the top. Lovely. Inhale. And over to one side. Lovely. Inhale. We get that little hover as you reach towards the floor, lengthening through the side body. Last time. Inhale. And over the top. You might find one side is a little easier to move into than the other. And this time you can stay there, fingertips reaching toward the floor. We'll go ahead and bring the hand down and maybe stretch that top arm over the top of the head. Nice. And then we'll bring both hands all the way back down in front of you. Hands under shoulders. Remember, you can do this with both knees underneath you. Left arm this time, we're going to reach up to the sky. And breathing out, feed the arm underneath. See how far away you can stretch your fingertips. Twice more, press into that underneath hand. Open the chest. And then feed the arm through. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time. Big breath, big stretch. And then feed the arm. underneath. Lovely. Let's reach that arm up to the sky one last time. Before you bring the hand down and take that left leg all the way back behind you, maybe just rolling over your toes, or again, pushing up into your downward dog. Again, maybe walking out your feet, pressing the heels down, and then rising up onto your tiptoes, slowly lowering those knees to the floor, and then flattening your feet will come back into that child pose. Coming up onto all fours if you're joining me, breathing in. We take that little lie down onto your belly, keeping those elbows hugged in. Up we come, back through cobra, and then into a child pose. Twice more, knowing that you can mix and match. Maybe you do one and then you just think, oh, I need a child pose today. It's Wednesday. That's a good enough reason to take a moment in child pose. One more with me if you're continuing with that little flow with our breath, our moving meditation. Inhale up through cobra. We'll all eventually meet in child pose. And from that child pose, walk or slide your hands back towards your knees. And rise on up as you breathe in, lifting the hips up, reaching the arms up, and then bringing the hands down to the hearts. Beautiful. Ready for that little back bend. Inhale, reach up. Hands swim all the way behind you, so the fingertips point down as you bring your hands onto your low back. And we roll the shoulders open, pointing the elbows back behind you. Maybe this is where you stay, or press the hips forwards. Think about lifting your breastbone. Maybe you take your gaze up, but keep pressing those hips forwards. Hips stay on top of knees. And then slowly we come back, reaching the arms up, take an inhale. Now, if your knees are okay, as you exhale, hands to heart, and slowly, slowly bring your bottom down, down, down onto your heels. Brilliant. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes under, we'll meet in a downward facing dog. So as you find your downward dog, your hips nice and high, knowing you can stay on all fours if this is uncomfortable in your wrists. With me, we're pushing rib cage to thighs as you press your hands forwards. And we're going to bend both knees generously, almost coming into a little crouch as you sit your bottom back towards your heels, looking forwards. And as you inhale, step or help your right foot forwards. And we're going to drop the back knee. Give it a hand if it doesn't get there. Lovely. Arms sweep forwards and up as you breathe in. As you breathe out, we're going to draw the elbows down and back, opening up through the chest. Inhale, sweeping up. And exhale, sliding the elbows down and away from you. Lovely. One more time. Big stretch across the chest. We're going to add on. So inhale, reaching up. This time as we exhale, bring the hands down to frame your front foot. Now lift the chest as you breathe in. As you breathe out, start to move your hips back and maybe lift your toes up towards your face. And the front knee, sweep the arms up, take an inhale. So we're letting that left hip drop. Exhale, circle the hands down to the floor. Lifting the chest, breath in. And again, that little hamstring stretch as we breathe out. Lovely. One more time, bend the knees, sweep the arms up, that lovely lunge. And circle the hands back down. Inhale as you lift up. And moving those hips back. Beautiful. Now from there, we're going to rebend that front knee, plant the foot down. We're going to pick up that back knee and dropping your heel in, toes out. We're going to rise on up into our warrior two. So reaching the arms out to the side, we've got that right foot forwards and we're reaching the arms out. Lovely. I'm looking over that front arm, your right arm. Just slide your ribs forwards. And then come all the way back through the center, then look over your back arm and see if you can slide your ribs towards the back wall. Come back to center, looking forward to that little slide. So we're sliding the ribs forwards, come all the way back through center, looking over that back arm. We're gonna reach back a little way. That's the hardest one to do, I think. Come back to center. This time you're gonna reach forwards, bring that right elbow or hand down onto your front thigh. And take that left arm all the way up, alongside the ear. Lovely. Inhale to center. And this time as we exhale, take the right arm all the way up and back. Lovely. Inhale to center. Exhaling, right hand or forearm to thigh, top arm up and over. Lovely, coming all the way back up into our warrior. Straighten that front leg. I'm just going to toe heel my back foot in ever so slightly to shorten my stance. And again, as you reach forwards, reach. When you can't go any further forwards, let that right hand come down onto your shin or your thigh. Left arm reaches up to the sky as we find our triangle pose. So try not to dump all of your weight into the underneath hand. You should be able to take your right hand off your leg and still be able to maintain that lovely shape. Nice, keeping the legs straight. Let's come up to center, take an inhale. And as you exhale, take that right arm up and back as you reverse your triangle. Lovely. You're going to reach both arms up to the sky and take a little pivot on that back foot until you're facing the top of your mat. So you're in a high lunge. Yeah, it's a little bit of a hoppity hop there. Lovely. Little balance challenge now as you push off the back foot. Can you bring that left knee up and in towards your chest? Pause there as you find your balance. And then take that left leg all the way back behind you and sweep the arms back by the side of the body as we find our warrior three. You can tap your toes down behind you if you need a little bit of support today. Now here's the challenge. Can you bring your hands to the floor as you step that left leg all the way back behind you? Option coming into a downward dog, or we're going to take that right leg up and back into a three-legged dog. Take an inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, nose to knee. You can do this from all fours. Remember, we did it at the beginning. Inhale, extend that right leg. And exhale, give it a squeeze. Or can we do one more, team? Yeah. Inhaling up. And then exhaling, knee to chest. Lovely. This time you're going to take the leg up and rolling forwards to a plank, shoulders over wrists as you bring that foot down. Taking an inhale there as you press into your hands. And as you exhale, let's drop to the knees and bring your chest down between your arms. Rolling up into that little cobra as you lift up. And then tucking the toes, we'll meet in a downward dog. Or have a little moment in child pose if that serves you. Just have a moment there in your downward dog to again get that sensation of trying to push your hands forwards as you bring your ribs to your thighs. And then from there, we're going to bend both knees, look forwards. And again, as you inhale, step or help left foot forwards this time. Woo, dropping that back knee. Sweeping the arms up, let's take an inhale. And opening the arms out to the side as you exhale. Lovely, twice more, breathing in, reaching up. And breathing out to draw the elbows back and down. One more time, breathing in. Breathing. Beautiful, adding on, we're going to sweep the arms up. And then this time the hands come down and we frame that front foot. Lifting the chest as you breathe in and we move the hips back. Breath out, lovely. Bending the knees, sweep the arms up so you let that right hip have a little stretch there before bringing the hands down. Lifting the chest and then breathing out, finding that little stretch in the hamstring or a big stretch in the hamstring in my case. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And again, a big circle down to the floor. Last time to lift the chest. And finding that stretch, pulling the hips back. Then we're going to plant that left foot on the floor, pick up the back knee, drop that back heel in, and we'll open up into that warrior two. So this time we've got the left knee bent and the arms are reaching out. You're going to reach forward, so you're sliding the ribs forwards as you look over your front fingertips. Come back to center. Then look over your back arm and we slide the ribs away from you. Come back to center. One more each time, so the legs are staying nice and strong. We're just sliding the ribs, slightly displacing the ribs as we reach in opposite directions, forwards and backwards. Come back to center. Reach forwards, and this time left hand or forearm to thigh, top arm up, or all the way up and alongside your ear, pressing the hips forwards. Lovely. Inhale to center. Left arm circles all the way up and over. Lovely. Inhale. And exhale, this time right arm comes alongside the ear. Lovely, one more like that, up through the middle as you breathe in. And then over the top as you breathe out. Lovely. Let's come all the way up through the center, straightening both legs. I'm going to slightly walk that back foot in just to shorten my stance. Again, reaching forwards. And when there's no more forwards, bringing the left hand down onto your shin, your thigh, above or below the knee. Again, remember a light touch with that hand as you press the hips forwards, keeping your chest facing forwards as you reach up with that top arm. Then we'll keep the legs straight. We come up through the center and just swap the arms over. So this time the left arm reaches up and back. And then we'll reach both arms up to the sky. This is the tricky bit, isn't it? You take that little pivot, that little hoppity hop on the back foot so you're facing the top of your mat in a high lunge. Okay, we'll see if we can bring that right knee up and in towards your chest. And then taking the leg back, you begin to sweep the arms back behind you, coming into your warrior three. So remember, you can tap the back toes down or keep the leg lifted as you lower the front body parallel to the floor. And bringing the hands down, we'll step that right foot back behind you. Either a downward dog or left leg up to the sky, breathing in and breathing out, knee to chest. As you bring the weight forwards. Lovely. Twice more. A little bit of strength. Inhale. We've got this within us. Bringing that knee forwards. Last time. Inhale, kick up. And exhale, come forwards. Lovely. Okay, we're going to take the leg up to the sky. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, rolling the body forwards to plank, bringing the foot down. Take an inhale as you push into your hands. And as you exhale, knees lifted or lowered, your choice as you come down onto your tummy. Find that cobra. And we'll meet in downward dog. From your downward dog, walk your feet a little bit wider apart. So when you come down onto your knees, our knees are maybe a little bit wider than your hips. Bring your big toes towards each other. Take your bottom back towards your heels. Maybe make a little pillow for your forehead as we take a moment of respite in child pose, allowing the breath to settle. Trying not to let the mind again pull you forwards or back as you take this moment of stillness. Sometimes when we're moving, the mind is so occupied on what's happening within the body and the movement within the body. It's only when we come to stillness that's when we kind of, if we're not careful, let ourselves be dragged back into those events of the week or pulled forwards into what we've got to do for the rest of the day, seeing if we can stay present now. And when you're ready, let's walk those hands forwards, coming back onto all fours. Bringing the knees under the hips, tucking the toes, coming into a downward dog. And this time, just walk your hands back towards your feet. And so we end up at the back of the mat, draping the body over the legs, maybe cradling the elbows as you take that little forward fold, maybe a sway from side to side, just letting it all hang out there. And as you release your elbows, just slowly start to rebuild your spine, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Slowly coming up to stand. Lovely. Sweeping the arms all the way out and up as you breathe in. And hands coming to heart. Beautiful. Sweeping the arms up. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to come all the way down into a forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Sliding the hands up the legs, shins or thighs, so you can press the chest forwards, lifting up halfway, breathing in, and folding back down. Let's rise on up as you inhale, sweeping the arms out and up. And hands to heart. Lovely. Let's do that one more time. This time bending the knees, big reach of the arms up, breath in. And breathing out to fold down over the legs. Lovely. Lifting up halfway. And breathing out to fold. Gonna rise on up. And hands coming down to heart. Lovely. Adding on, breathing in. This time as we breathe out, we'll swim the hands behind you so you can interlace them so the palms are facing up to the ceiling. Draw those knuckles down again, that nice stretch across the chest, and maybe this is more than enough for the shoulders. Or bend the knees, start to hinge forwards, and maybe the arms can lift up and over. If your shoulders don't like that, just let the arms dangle in front of you in a forward fold. And then bringing the hands onto your lower back, we'll sweep them forwards and up as you rise up to stand again. Bringing the hands down to the heart, we're going to pause there. Hands at the heart as you find your focus. Lovely. And then shifting the weight into your left leg. And peel the right heel off the floor. And as you pivot on the foot and open the knee, maybe you just bring your heel to rest on top of the foot. Or maybe you bring that leg up a little higher as you find your tree pose. Wherever you are, let's bring the hands to the heart, pull up and out of that standing leg as you find your balance, find your focus. Beautiful. Maybe you want to stay here, or take that slow circle of the arms all the way out and up as you breathe in. And then circle the hands back down to the heart, breath out. Beautiful. You're going to reach the arms up to the sky, palms together. And this time you're going to bend the elbows and bring your thumbs behind your head. Make sure your chin stays lifted there as you press the back of your head into your hands and try and draw those elbows back. Lovely, reaching the arms up. And taking the arms out nice and wide. It's that lovely V shape, connecting your thumb and your first finger if you wish to find that little mudra, that hand gesture that's said to help with concentration. And then slowly bring the hands to the heart and step that right foot to the floor. And then transfer the weight to the right leg. You're going to pick up your left foot and just tap the toes down in front of that right leg. So you can keep your toes on the floor as you start to bend the knees. It's like you're sitting back into a little chair, squeezing your inner thighs together and keeping the hips pointed forwards. You're going to reach the arms out to the side. Right arm wraps on top of left arm. So again, it might be hands on shoulders. It might be in that little double wrap as you lift your elbows, sink a little deeper into your hips. See if you can take your gaze between your forearms as you find that focus, find that balance. Lovely. We can sweep the arms up and bring that left knee up in towards your chest. Now keep your upper arms by your ears as you step that left foot out to the side, toes out ever so slightly. And just shift the weight to that front foot, really light on that back foot, maybe just on the ball of the foot. Or maybe you can start to lift that back leg as you reach the arms away from you, keeping that underneath arm by your ear as you reach, pressing the hips forwards if you feel that in the low back. Then landing that right foot and bringing the hands to the heart as you bring both feet underneath you. Star pose, that's a hard one, that one. Give the legs a little shake and we'll try that on the other side. So this time we'll start with the right leg as our focus, picking up your left heel. So you take that little pivot into your tree pose, maybe this side is different. So wherever you are, get that sense of growing a little taller as you settle the breath and find your focus. Lovely. You might want to join me, circling the arms all the way out and up as you breathe in. And then hands coming to heart. Beautiful. Maybe you stay there or we circle the arms up, arms together as you bend the elbows. So just bring your thumbs behind your head, press the elbows wide, getting that little stretch in the armpit chest. So we'll take the arms up, connecting your thumb and your first finger as you open the arms out to the side. And then as you bring the hands to the heart, we'll point the knee forwards, bringing both feet underneath you, shifting the weight into your left leg. You're going to pick up your right leg, tapping the toes down, and as you bend the knees, we squeeze the inner thighs together, keeping the hips pointing forwards. Reaching the arms out. This time, left arm is on top. So again, it might be hands on shoulders or coming into that eagle arms. As you lift your elbows, we sink down a little deeper and take your gaze directly between your forearms there. Beautiful. Releasing the arms, we're going to pick up that right knee. And stepping that right foot out to the right, toes out, shifting the weight into that front foot. We're going to lift that back leg, coming up into your star pose. We lost someone. There we go. So you're pressing the hips forwards, reaching the arms out. Beautiful, find that point of balance. And then stepping the feet down and bringing the hands back to the heart. Beautiful, giving the legs a little bit of a shake. So we're standing at the back of the mat. Let's bend those knees, sweep the arms up, breath in. And as you breathe out, take a forward fold, keep the feet where they are, but we'll just pad the hands forwards, coming into that plank pose where we can lower the knees, make a little pillow for our foreheads as you come down onto your tummy. Just take a moment to stretch one leg back behind you and then the other. And then right heel comes in towards your bottom. And maybe you just stay there with a flexed foot or reach around with your right hand, taking hold around your foot, your ankle. Draw those knees to parallel as you bring the heel in towards your bottom. Pressing the hips down into the mat if you want a little bit more stretch across the hip there. Feeling that lovely lengthening away from the top of the hip all the way down to the knee. And slowly releasing that foot and swapping sides, so left heel comes up. Flexing the foot, maybe you can reach around with the same hand to catch your foot and bring it in. If you can't, you can keep both hands underneath your head and just bring that heel in towards your bottom. You'll still get a stretch, a slightly different one, but you'll still get a stretch. If you're holding your foot, you can press your hips into the floor to intensify that stretch, that sensation that you might be feeling. And slowly releasing, bringing the hands under the shoulders, pushing up onto all fours so you can bring your knees together. Just swing your feet round to one side so you can drop your bottom and swim the legs out in front of you. Coming down onto your back. First time we've been there, hey? Oh, bring those knees in. Give yourself a well-deserved hug and a little rock of the hips from side to side. Just let yourself almost burrow yourself into your mat there. Then bringing both hands onto your right knee, let the left foot come to the floor. As you give that right knee a squeeze in towards your chest, you can keep that left leg bent or slide it away from you, keeping the heel on the floor so you're pointing your toes up towards the ceiling. Just try and close the eyes, relax your upper body there as we stretch out through the low back. And bringing your left hand onto that right knee, let's bring that right leg across the body into a little twist. So you can let that left arm, right arm, sorry, just fall by the side of you or stretch out level with your shoulder. And coming all the way back in through the center, reaching both legs out in front of you, stretching both arms back behind you as you find that lovely full body stretch. Maybe have a little moment there to move the body, stretching into one side and then the other. And then we'll lower the arms and walk both feet back underneath you. Settling those heels in close to your bottom. As you inhale, we're going to lift the hips up, taking a little shoulder bridge. And as you exhale, ripple your way down through the spine, lengthening your tailbone towards your heels. Let's do that twice more. So as you push your hips up, we're keeping the toes on the floor as you press through all four corners of your feet. Rolling your way down. Let's do that one more time. So as you push your hips up, getting that stretch and opening through the hips. And this time as you roll your way down through the spine, keep your hips on the floor and we bring the left knee up and in towards the chest. You can hold in front or behind the knee as you take that softening through the upper body. And maybe sliding that right leg out in front of you, heel on the floor, toes pointing up towards the ceiling there, getting that lovely stretch. Right down the back of the leg into the low back. And then right hand on left knee, bringing that leg across the body. Maybe taking your gaze over that back arm if that's comfortable. Then coming back to center. Once more extending both arms, both legs, taking that full body stretch, maybe pointing the toes, arching the back a little bit as you lengthen through your fingertips. And then slowly, slowly bringing those arms all the way down by the side of you. Flipping your palms up towards the sky, creating a little bit of space between your body and your arms there. Maybe just rolling across your heels a couple of times. And then allowing your toes to roll apart, your heels in. If you don't like lying outstretched, feel free to walk your heels back in towards you. Take your heels a little wider apart, and then you can simply rest your knees together. So as we find that moment of stillness after the movement, closing down the eyes again, reminding ourselves as we face whatever challenges the rest of the day, the rest of the week might hold. Words of that very kind elderly gentleman that nothing lasts forever. Moods, our emotions, situations and challenges, all of which are ephemeral, ever changing. Taking comfort in that as you begin once more to start that inward journey, focusing down on your breath. Inhaling, drawing the breath right down into those lowermost lobes of your lungs, deep belly breathing. And as you exhale, really allowing your body to accept the support of the floor. Trying to release any sensations of gripping or holding now. Moment in Shavasana, just reminding ourselves that whilst the news might sometimes be full of the bad things going on in the world, that reminding ourselves, like I had that gentle reminder on Saturday, that there are nice, good people around us. And I found these lovely words just to carry us forward into the rest of the week. Called good. Most people are good. Most people kiss their pets goodbye every time they leave and read just one more bedtime story to their children. Most people visit their grandparents even when they have no time and stop by to check in on quiet friends after a day too long and draining. Most people give money when money is scarce, and most people worry about people they don't even know day in and day out. When the world seems bad, remember this. Most people are good. Keeping that in our hearts when life brings us those little challenges, start to gently move into your bodies, maybe a little roll across the back of your head, maybe a little wiggle of your fingers, your toes. And from there, perhaps re-extending arms and legs as you find that full body stretch. Maybe a little yawn there. Oh, readying yourself for the rest of the day as you slowly, slowly walk your feet in towards you, lower your arms, and then bring your knees in towards your chest. Give them a hug. Maybe this time bringing your nose towards your knees as you lift your upper body off the floor, getting a gentle rounding through the upper back. And then lower the head back down. Take a little roll from side to side across the back of the head before rolling to lie on one side. And then taking your time to come up to seated when you're ready. Bring the hands together at the heart. Lifting your breastbone to meet your thumbs. Dropping the elbows down towards the waist. Maybe allowing your chin to drop down towards your fingertips there. From there, let's take a big deep breath in together, sealing our practice, sweeping the arms up as you breathe in. And breathing out, hands to heart, wishing each other a positive day and week ahead. a namaste and a thank you to one another for showing up. We're good people, aren't we? And namaste, thank you, thank you. Good people with our yoga. Thank you, team. Oh, there we go.